There have been requests for creating buttons and labels in MidiDesigner Pro that, when on, change colors and or change text and or change brightness. This can be accomplished with overlapping panels and objects such as buttons and labels. I have designed several layered layouts and found the best way, at least for me, to handle creating and editing them. This is part 3 of a 3-part tutorial for creating and editing layers in MidiDesigner Pro Design Mode. Part 1 is an introduction and demonstration of using layers. Part 2 shows how to create and assemble a layered layout. Part 3 shows how to edit the layout such that the layering effect is maintained. The example is a 3-layer layout. The top layer is a decorative panel that overlays a group of objects, usually with a specific color and title. This layer may look best placed between the lower 2 layers rather than overall. The middle layer consists of a show and hide panel with an attached label. An option is for the label to be below the panel. The bottom layer contains an on-off button, an off label, and a base panel. The base panel usually encompasses several functional groupings. The on-off button controls an on panel placed directly over it. An optional configuration is to have the off label placed on top of the button. Whichever option is picked is based on the desired effect. Tips and hints about overlaying layers have been presented in earlier videos. Before I begin explaining the editing procedures, I want to mention information relating to the example layout. While the base panel is slightly visible, it can be made invisible or colored. The layout is a simplification to show the concepts. Panels should have individual handles for easy selection when panels overlap. Buttons may need to be on to see hidden panels and the on labels. Save the layout before you begin in case you need to start over. Editing behavior includes: when an object is selected, it usually moves above all objects below it. Objects attached to a panel will move with it. At times, if you want to move a selected object to the top, you can jiggle it, that is, move it away and back from its normal position. A selected object with its attached objects can be moved to the back using the Send to Back option. An object to be moved to the middle layer may first be sent to the back, followed by sending the lowest layer to the back. Use the filter to select specific objects without having to select undesired objects. Remember, there is no undo in MidiDesigner Pro, so be careful. Be careful not to apply panel controls with undesirable overlapping objects. There is also the possibility of losing an attached control. I will now go through the procedure. To begin, open a blank page next to the page you will be editing. The blank page can either be on the right or the left page. Verify the operation is as designed. Select the bottom panel and move it to the blank page. The base panel with its attached controls and labels is now separated from the on panels and their labels. Now, either or both pages can be edited without interfering with each other. Let's move label 3 above button 165. Filter out panels and others. Now select the label. It's still below, but jiggle it and it will come to the top. You can make any changes and send it to back. You can select any button and change its properties. Don't forget to change the filter. The corresponding label may move below the button. You can select the label and jiggle it above the button. Going to the On Panel page, let's change the color of the blue on panels. You may first need to move the top panel out of the way so you can select the on panels. Change the color for each panel. Now let's change the color of the top panel and move its position to the middle. Select the panel and move it out of the way if necessary. In this scenario, you can leave it in place. Adjust its properties and move it back. It is now on top. Notice the effect of alpha. Now you can leave it on top and reduce alpha or send it to back. To finish, move the base panel in position over the on panels, send to back. Everything should be positioned properly. Verify. It's a good idea at this point to save your work and possibly even lock the design mode so you can't accidentally disrupt the layering effect. This is Don. You can contact me with questions or comments at djsorg2062@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.